Hello, everybody. I want to review together about ideas for inspiration with the JnJ USA project. We want to explore some three-dimensional effects and parallax effects. And we will start with this 2018 website, Green Chameleon. Okay. The position of the arrow can be playful and it creates all kinds of angles. Let's scroll with the mouse and go into the timeline. As you can see, we're getting deeper and deeper, but getting deeper is also moving forward with the timeline. So as you scroll faster and faster, you go faster through the mouse. Again, we can see that moving the arrow with the cursor will create different aspects, different angles. That's another playful effect with three-dimensional space. Let's push one of the projects, okay? Let's push this one. We can see the eye and view an example of the project. When we click on See More, there is an external contact that's open in external tab. We can see the actual project. So, in conclusion, we can move through the timeline. There's a three-dimensional voyage that shows all the projects for each month, and the view changes when we play with the on-hover effect. Let's go fast and see what's happened in another month. Let's see. This project, when we click, it blows up and we see an example video of the project. Very nice. Let's see the next inspiration. The next inspiration is by Apple. It's an awareness for the Women's Day campaign. Uh, the whole webpage is made like a huge canvas. When you play with the mouse and you hover on one of the examples, the picture fades away and you can see more supportive text for each example. Okay? And you can just playfully explore this canvas with all kinds of example of activists that made achievements in the women's rights movement. And also, if you scroll down, you see more ways to volunteer and contribute to the effort. Mm, Next inspiration, we got what I call the spritz. You see a movement, you see a light illustration and movement. And when you scroll down, things gently appear, and you see a lot of illustrations that accompany your scrolling down, and some moving banners also. Videos, things move a little bit, but not too extremely. There is a video effect here, a moving effect. That's the main case. And let's take a look at Dog Studio. Dog Studio made a really, really 3D playful experience. When you scroll down with the scroll button of the mouse, you see the background changes with the parallax effect. Then you get into a timeline that shows you different things in the timeline of their work, different project they worked. As you hover on the project, you see supportive text, but you see also the background is changing. So the background is very playful as long as you get along and hover on one of the projects. If you click on one of the projects, you are transferring to an inner page with the sound, and the text is also appearing with a slight animation on the text. Let's go back to the main screen. Okay. So we have a timeline, and when you reach the bottom of the timeline, the background still tilts as you scroll down. This is a classic parallax effect with a 3D object. Let's go to Jason Ross. Jason Ross wanted us to know the whole story, how they met each other before they got married. And you see the timeline, but when you scroll, you can see there are all kinds of parallax effects. Things are moving, things are changing. Layers are hovering on one another with different rhythm. So you got a nice playful effect, which arouses you and makes you play more with the scroll. Let's scroll down fast, 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 fast. You see these layers are going down, and there's animations going as long as you scroll up and down. This is the story they're telling, how they met each other, and they were apart, and they re-met. The whole romance in a timeline with some kind of illustrations and animation that goes far away. And in the end, when you read the whole story, you get a call for action, be a guest at our wedding, our RSVP. And for a different story, which is a little bit sad, there's an SBS report about a crime which was committed a long time ago. This is a feature that shows with kind of parallax and three-dimensional moving investigation about a girl that was kidnapped and how they found the people who were involved in this murder. So it's like a movie, but it changes when you change the mouse position. You hear the sound and it gives you possibility to explore the three-dimensional space. You go through parts of the story. It takes you through the story. But even when you go to another point in the timeline, you're still in some kind of three-dimensional space. When you change the mouse position, you also play with the view, and it reacts to the mouse position. This is a website which is a tribute to the photographer Peter Lindbergh. The whole timeline and the portfolio is being presented horizontally and linearly, and it interchanges. When I scroll down, the layers change in their size. There's also objects like pictures and circles that accompany this voyage. This is like going a little bit deeper, but when we go deeper and see the object and the example, sometimes we go deeper in three-dimensional space. And I'm going to scroll, and here we go to a linear navigation. And things change their focus as we go to the linear navigation. And we go down, and we see examples during the years for this photographer's work. Nice example. If you want, you can check it out later. And then when we go to specific project, there's another effect of layering when we hover on the names. This is a mouse hover playfulness effect. Again, playing with the headers. And now when we come up to the portfolio, we go to side scrolling. So it becomes like a gallery. We're still moving downward, scrolling with the mouse, but now it's scrolling a little bit from left to right. So the direction of the navigation changes in a very playful effect. And our dear old Webflow. Webflow is a web design platform that makes the design as an HTML fully functional website. Let's see what happens when we load this page. The loading and the overlapping items, they're just revealing themselves as we scroll. The text is revealing itself as we scroll down, and now there's a video item on the right, which is probably important to show the functionality. So the text accompanies on the left what we see in the video. And as we scroll, there's a little change in the text, but the main item stays fixed. And when we finish scrolling on this text, we go down. Again, things are revealing themselves a little bit with the fade-in effect. And we see that the main action item, the main video stays fixed, and we see that the accompanying text is being scrolled down as we scroll in the mouse. We scroll, we explore. We see the amazing possibilities here. And again, the text is revealing itself and accompanying the main action items. The same thing here happened when we investigate one of the possibilities, which is the interaction builders. Let's see how this page loads. When it loads the first time, the layers are revealing themselves with an in animation. They're just getting inside the screen, which lightens up the atmosphere and give it a more B2C experience. So we have the main screen, the main action. Again, this is the main information in this page, and the headers are revealing themselves one by one, giving us some kind of experience of layers appearing one by one. So this is a very, very large and very wide exploration of things we can do with a three-dimensional space over the web. I hope you enjoy. And if you have questions, feel free to contact me.